Oscar Wilde once said, "Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth." Masks are all too common in superhero stories, and they present a kind of paradox by concealing one identity, yet revealing another. When Bruce Wayne puts on that pointy-eared cowl, it both hides his identity and transforms him into the Bat. Masks have a certain power about them, and no comic book displays that better, in my opinion, than Watchmen, with the use of the character Rorschach. But before we dive into those waters, I think it's important to at least touch on the origin of masks. In the Mask Handbook by Toby Wilshire, the author explains that masks originate from two primary sources: religious rituals, where the wearer feels transformed into a supernatural being, and secular theater, where the transformation is in the mind of the audience. And in the case of Rorschach, his alter ego Walter Kovacs found a new identity through the mask, and the inkblots do exactly as they're designed to do, allowing the reader and onlookers in the comic book universe itself to project and see any sort of meaning that they want in those images. Rorschach's mask in the comics was made out of a dress with very unique properties, but it was discarded as ugly. This echoes Kovacs' own life, as he himself was seen as unwanted and ugly. In fact, the comic book specifically calls him, quote, fascinatingly ugly. And yet both he and the dress find a new meaning and a new purpose through transformation. The dress becomes a mask, and through that mask, Walter Kovacs becomes the vigilante Rorschach. The inherent paradox that the mask creates still shines through here. Rorschach denounces humanity for being cruel, yet while wearing the mask can himself perform terrifying acts of violence. Quote, "It's as if continual contact with society's grim elements has shaped him into something grimmer, something even worse." End quote. And the ever-changing patterns on Rorschach's mask represent that, yes, he sees the world in black and white, but also that the world is meaningless. As he explains it, quote, "Existence is random, has no pattern save what we imagine after staring at it for too long. No meaning save what we choose to impose." End quote.
There are even 2 points in the book where Rorschach is talking about never compromising, and they show him with the exact same pattern on his face both times, symbolizing his unwavering nature for the things that matter most to him.
The use of Rorschach's mask allows him to further denounce humanity by stripping away all of his human facial features. I think a quick history lesson is in order before we go any further. I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but it is worth saying. Back in the 1980s, DC Comics bought Charlton Comics and had a lot of characters like Blue Beetle, Nightshade, and Captain Atom. When Alan Moore proposed a story that would use those characters but either kill off or retire most of them, an editor at DC told him to maybe use original characters for that story, that way we can still use these ones that we just acquired. Blue Beetle became Night Owl, Nightshade became Silk Spectre, and Captain Atom became Dr. Manhattan. And of course, Rorschach was based off of The Question, a character with a completely blank face. His mask allowed him to hide his identity without providing any sort of supplemental identity for the reader. It was just a blank slate. Rorschach takes this a bit further. Yes, his mask is absent of facial features, but even his speech pattern is stripped down. And without his mask, he still has, quote, no expression in either face or voice. Though he does consider the mask to be his real face, as opposed to the one he was born with, something that we've seen later with characters like Batman and Moon Knight. In the dramatic scene where he is captured by the police, Rorschach begs and screams for his face back after they unmask him, which brings up something that I think Watchmen does incredibly well. It showcases the power of the mask. Superheroes who typically wear a mask do so to hide their identity, to disguise themselves, to keep a part of themselves away, hidden from the public. And so because of that, there is an inherent power in the mask and in unmasking a hero. Take that scene again where Rorschach is captured. They could just arrest him and wait to unmask him at the station, but no, they do it immediately. The police waste no time getting Rorschach's mask off because it knows that it would show dominance over him, that it would strip his power away. Up until that moment, not even the readers knew for sure what was under Rorschach's mask. It created a sense of mystery, and then he was just revealed to be like a guy. And I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to think of any other superhero story where the villain tries to unmask the hero. And what's interesting when you think about it is it's almost always done before they kill the superhero. They want to unmask them first before finishing them off, when it could easily be done the other way around. Take that very small scene from The Dark Knight where Batman is temporarily defeated and one of Joker's thugs instinctually thinks to unmask him when he could have just shot him in the head. Not that Joker would probably allow that, but you get my point. Or take Spider-Man 2, when Harry Osborn has Spider-Man captured, bound, and unconscious. He could just kill him right then and there and then pull the mask off after the deed is done, but no, he has to do it before. He has to finally strip away that last shred of power that Spider-Man has by revealing his identity. And only then, only after he's unmasked, can Spider-Man be truly defeated. Now, up until this point, we've been talking about specifically facial masks, but an argument could be made that the entire costume of a superhero works as a sort of mask. I mean, what do you think was under Rorschach's trench coat? Watchmen uses costumes in a very interesting and brilliant way. Not just showing them off as dangerous or impractical, but also having them represent the shells of the people who wear them. This, in effect, allows the costumes to stand in for the masks that some of us wear every single day of our lives, proudly displaying confidence and happiness when on the inside, we might feel the opposite. Hey, it wouldn't be a Watchmen video if we didn't come out the other side at least a little depressed. But you know what? This is the last video that we are making this entire year of 2016, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your lives, for watching and sharing our videos this year. It has been an incredibly trying year for a lot of us, I know, but I'm just so glad that 2016 has finally come to an end.
An end? Nothing ends, Scott. Nothing ever ends.
Oh God. Okay. Well, if you missed this whole series of superhero costumes, we did 2 other videos about the brilliant design of Superman's costume and the somewhat controversial design of the X-Men costume. You can click right here to watch the entire playlist all about superhero costumes from the start, as well as some other additional stuff thrown in there that you might like. Until next year, guys, my name is Scott, reminding you to read between the panels and grow smarter through comics. See ya.